Hey guys, welcome to SheKnowsArsenal. My name is Jessica. I'm your host. You can follow me on Twitter. Sorry, I'm just like swallowing water. You can follow me on Twitter at Jessinio Tweets. Actually, I need to like change this. I don't know why I haven't, but like, don't worry about that, you guys. You can follow me at SheKnowsArsenal regardless. Another day, another game, another time where we're going to be talking about Granite Xhaka effing everything up for us. I'm so dead, you guys. I'm so done with this. Like, honestly, like, there's obviously positives to take from this game, but there's obviously negatives as well. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about this. This is our therapy session. We are allowed to react the way that we're going to react. And let me tell you, I have some reactions. I did not think I was going to watch that second half. I was very much so hand on the remote, on the off button, like, do I even want to deal with this? Like, why am I dealing with this? Like, but then I was thinking to myself, I was like, might as well just watch it. It is what it is. And like, I'm glad I did because I think that the boys did a really good job, and the performance that we got um after the red card was great. It's what you want to see from a team, in a hostile environment, circumstances that aren't going your way, and really like you're back up against the wall. And so I really have not much to criticize the rest of the team for. The 10 men plus the substitutes that came on to get the 0-0 result deserve all of the flowers that they get to keep us in this tie. And the person that was sent off for the red card um, needs his ass beat. Like, I don't know how else to really describe it, but like, this guy is starting to like really get on my last nerve, because it's like we're in like a very important part of our season, and you're still up to your old tricks. Like, you're still on your old bullshit, and like, we need you to evolve. If you can't evolve, you need to go. And there was a lot of like, okay, well, against Manchester City, was it a penalty? Was it not? It kind of was a penalty. Like, for me, it was a penalty. But that being said, you could argue it away, and we still went with the performance and all of that. Today, you can't argue it away. That man is incapable of making the right decision in situations where, like, he's under pressure and we're in big matches. And it's a real issue. Like, getting a red card against Man City early in the season, we gave him a pass because we didn't have our real team and la la la. Then again, against Manchester City, giving up a penalty. Oh, well, we didn't get ours VAR, so there you go. Now this one, you cannot argue this away. The guy has to go. We cannot like hold his reputation. Like, we cannot float with it. It is dragging us down like massively. And some of the things that happened to him are not cards and not fouls, but his reputation is that. So like, we cannot support him. Like, it's just too much. And I won't feel differently tomorrow. I know I won't, because this is something that we've been seeing constantly since this man has been at Arsenal. And yes, we play better when he's there, but that's because he's our only option. Like, Sambi is too young. You know, Guendouzi was young. Torreira didn't want to be there. Since he's been here, there's never really been actual competition for his place. And he's just out here fucking shit up for us, and it's just, I'm done. Like, I really, really am, because the North London Derby is so, so important. And had we stayed with 11 men and been able to, get through this with a draw or even maybe a win, then we're looking at the North London Derby with Xhaka and the team, maybe ESR back Tomiyasu. But now he has decimated and depleted our midfield even further in a time where it's just like, could you just stay on the pitch? Like, we already don't have Thomas Partey. Like, could you just stay on the pitch and like not do your brain dead thing that you always do when we get under pressure? And if you're a captain, a leader, a pillar of like our team, supposed to be like this experienced guy, 29 years old, what do we need you for if you can't react in the appropriate way in stressful situations in big matches? That's why we need you. We don't need you for Norwich. We don't need you for Watford. We don't need you for Newcastle. We don't need you for these games. We need you in these moments to have your head on straight. And he never has it. Man City away, Man City at home, Liverpool away, for fuck's sake. How many big games is this guy going to just have a brain dead moment? Like, I cannot do it. I can't do it anymore. Like, honestly, and like, I know I'm ranting, but like, I just need to get this off my chest because it's like, I'm not going to make it. Like, I'm literally not going to make it. This guy has got to go. Okay. Like, I cannot do it anymore. Let's see what you guys are saying. You guys are probably like, what? Like, what? Cannon says Captain Xhaka the biggest liability, and people say we scapegoat him. I get the aspect of why he's important, but it's mostly due to lack of resources and not because he's irreplaceable. He's a good midfielder, but I guarantee you, if we brought in another good midfielder that didn't have these moments, we wouldn't need him. You know, he's never really competing for his position, and you know, he just got to go. Dublin Gunner says, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. I would rather a traffic cone play in midfield than see Xhaka again. No, I hear you. Banton says, please complain about Xhaka, but the reality is that we need him in the squad. There is no other option. We knew AFCON was coming. And this is why, like, when the season first started, I'm like, so what's going to happen in January? Well, we'll just think about it when we get there. Like, literally, we knew we were going to be decimated, and we've been like, COVID has been here for 2 years. So the club actually did not prepare properly to get us through this moment. And if you didn't account for Xhaka's brain dead moments, you didn't account for COVID, you didn't account for injuries, and apparently you didn't care enough about AFCON to make sure that we had the people that we needed. I don't know if you guys have watched Sambi in these last 2 games, but that boy ain't ready. Something has happened to him post Liverpool away, and he even played against Newcastle and he played so well against Newcastle. What is happening? But we need, because midfield is so important, like if we don't have midfield, we have nothing, literally. So it's kind of like, you know, we need senior, like experienced players, not on any midfield options available to us for the rest of the season. Because guess what? COVID is not just during January. It's going to be for the rest of the season. Injuries are going to come as well. And so I don't know, like if Aziz is going to be able to help that. We already know that they have like, they like canceled his loan at Portsmouth. So maybe they're planning on bringing him back. But like, we need grown-ups. Like we need grown-ups and somebody who Arteta can look at. And when he's looking at the, you know, the options that he has, and he says, Partey, Xhaka, blank, that he could go, okay, blank and Partey, Xhaka on the bench. Right now, he doesn't ever have to make that hard decision, ever. It's always Xhaka, and we always are suffering for it. And I'm sick of it. EKK says Artur from Juventus and Van der Beek would not do the nonsense Xhaka does. It's just ridiculous. It's just, you know, like I can't. Tyler says Xhaka not going anywhere. He won't go anywhere this transfer window, but there have been reports that like he could be going in the summer, and he just kind of has to. Like it's done now. Like it's just too much at this point. Peter says we look so much better with Lokonga and Partey. It's jeez. Funky Bunky says, would you rather Xhaka get sent off against Spurs or Liverpool today? I just don't want him in the team anymore. I don't want to have to see him anymore. I don't want to have to talk about it. Like some of the best feeling this season has been not seeing Mustafi and not seeing David Luiz. I'm not having to like deal with their reputation in regards to like calls and stuff like that. And I cannot wait for the day that we don't have to deal with Xhaka's either. Like it's just ridiculous at this point. The fans don't deserve it. And those boys out there that ran their asses off did not deserve to have 10 men on that pitch. They didn't deserve it. Karumi says we need to go out and do the same approach against Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, I can't even think about the North London Derby right now because I'm just hoping that thing gets postponed. We have like 12 players available and we should push for a postponement. We don't have the players. We have COVID, injuries, AFCON absences, suspensions, and that seems to be good enough for other teams to get the game called off. So I want ours called off as well. I don't want to play like this. Like, I really, really don't. Like, I don't think we should have to. I would rather wait until Thomas Partey is back. We get through this transfer window. We bring in a couple players and then bam, then we go ahead and play. Because, I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, on so many levels. Whew. I'm sorry. Because I didn't get to say this during the game. Like, I was literally standing there like, is this actually happening? And like when okay, let's just get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's do the player ratings. Hold on really quick. The Truth Sets Free, thank you so much for your super chat. The Truth Sets Free says, Jess, you deserve the win today. Saka, Ben White, Gabrielle, all 8s and 9s for me. Great defense today. You can go on to the final now, Karen Klopp. Yeah, so let's there were some good things, but like that is my overriding feeling is just like, damn, like Xhaka, like why are you still here doing the same shit? Like, it's so annoying. Matthew says, oh, just a super sticker. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, here we go. So Ramsdale. I definitely think he was the right choice. There was some people saying that, I feel like Leno should start. Like, for why? Like, I don't understand because you're going to get the same kind of shot stopping ability, but Ramsdale gives you a little bit more in possession. And he did have some shaky moments in the very beginning where it went off of Henderson's hand and that could have easily went into the goal. And he also had a couple of moments where he came out and was kind of flailing. But like, I'm not even about to sit here and act like I think Leno would have done a better job under those circumstances. And I think that there were some moments where he was able to send it long that gave us some time to recuperate and get back into our shape. And Ramsdale is still a very young goalkeeper. And so, he's going to have games like this where I don't think he had his best possible showing, but he was the right choice today. I don't know why people were saying Leno. Like, it literally made no sense. And so I'm going to give Ramsdale, it's going to seem a little bit harsh. I'm going to give him a 6. And that's because he did have those couple of moments where he was flailing and stuff like that. But otherwise, he was fine. And the defense in general was really good. You guys, I need to sip this coffee. My throat is dry. Why are we letting Xhaka do this to us, guys? Why are we letting this happen? All right, so yeah, I gave Ramsdale a 6. May seem harsh, didn't give up any goals, but he was flapping. He had a couple moments where he was just all out in La La Land, and that could have really cost us. So other than that, I still think he was the right choice. Leno wouldn't have done better. Anyways, so Cedric doesn't get a rating, and I'm happy that I didn't have to see him for the full game. Hello. Hopefully he is fine. He he did something to his side early on in the game, and then Chambers came on. And I thought Chambers was not like amazing, but what he did do was, I think he was good defensively, solid in his lines, didn't get beat too many times. And he helped Saka put pressure on Van Dijk and I think it was Robertson who were on that side. And they were, when we had moments to attack, Chambers was pushing forward and putting pressure and nicking the ball and getting forward and helping Saka, which is something that I don't think Cedric does a very good job at. And he was good in his staying in his lines, clearing the ball. And that's what Chambers does give you. He's somebody that I think gives 110% when he's on the pitch. And so Chambers did a really good job. And so I'm going to give Chambers an 8. He came in cold. I don't think he probably didn't think he was going to be coming in right then, like right at the beginning of the game. And he hasn't played for us in a while. So for me, Chambers gets an 8. And yeah, who knows? We may need him against Spurs. So if this is what I can count on him for against Spurs, then I'd rather see him than Cedric, because Cedric couldn't even play or pass the ball against Nottingham Forest. Let's keep it 100. Let's see. Cannon Kane says Chambers played well. I was surprised. I was surprised as well because he hasn't played in a while. Let's see. Chambers is more solid than Cedric. Gives a better balance to the team. Yaniski says Chambers more like Tomiyasu than Cedric, good in the air. He is decent in the air, so yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I give Chambers an 8. Moving on to Ben White, man of the match, absolute masterclass from him. He was very, very good, and he definitely made up for the game against Nottingham Forest, which I didn't really attribute to him mostly. Like I know some people did and felt like, he should have been able to bring the team up and without any of his normal players back there or normal partners back there, just do it because he was, we paid 50 million for him. But he played so well today. I think in some ways he carried Gabriel because Gabriel, I also think, was quite shaky, just like Ramsdale. But I think he was very, very solid, was, just a monster back there, a wall back there, and did a really good job. And so for me, Ben White gets a 9. I'm happy for him. Like, I'm happy for him just because, like, he needs these moments in big games so that he can kind of show why he's worth the money. And even though I'm not really too fussed about the money because I do think he's worth it and will be a really good player for us in the future, those price tags really hold players back. And this was a good performance for Ben White, and I'm very happy for him. So I'm going to give him a 9. Thank you so much. The Truth Sets Free. Great show as always. Thank you so much. Dublin Gooner says anything less than a 10 for Ben, and I'm going to growl. I gave him a 9. Sorry. C. Wilder says awesome from White today. Exactly. Led from the back. Just did a good job. Like very, very good, solid performance from him. Roberto says solid 9. Exactly. Timothy says Chambers was great. I agree. Timothy says we should never see Cedric again. I agree. Dublin Gooner says growl. Yeah, I get you. So Holding, Holding came in. Well, we could do Holding now because he was part of the defense. I thought he was okay. He was better than he was against Nottingham Forest, but that was mostly because he wasn't being asked to distribute. He was just defending in a low block. And so I think him, just like Chambers, came in, showed heart and fight, and that's what you can count on them for. They may not be able to help you progress the ball and sustain pressure on teams, but what they will do is they will work really hard and they can defend in a low block. They really can. And I think Holding was just fine. I'm gonna give him an 8 as well, just like Chambers. Redeemed himself from that weird performance that he had against Nottingham Forest. And so yeah, I can't really fault Rob Holding today. Roberto says, I was really happy to see Tavares get some minutes today after the last performance. I was as well. Sony says, sandwich between White and Gabriel, who kept him in the game. I mean, the thing about Holding is just like, we know what he is, right? He's a defender and he's just good in a low block, heading the balls out and just nipping the ball and stuff. And as long as you can keep him off of the ball, he's pretty harmless. So, it is what it is. Gabriel, I think he had some moments where there was one moment where I think it was the moment for Minamino. it was one of the moments that he had where he just kind of missed it and Jota headed it down and he was just like out of the play. There was a moment where he creeped into midfield where he put in a really hard tackle, which I just thought like, yo, you need to calm down. And I just think in general he was a little bit on the shaky side. I don't know if he's kind of shaking off that red card that he got against Man City, but I don't think he was terrible. He definitely was being carried by Ben White a little bit, but that is what a partnership is for. And so when White was not having good games, Gabriel was picking up the slack, and Gabriel didn't have the best game today, and White picked up the slack, and that's what partnerships are for. As a partnership, they are very solid. Gabriel just needs to shake off that red card, not you know just leave that behind you and move on to the next game because we need him so badly. So for me, Gabriel gets I'm gonna give him a 7.5. I just think that he was a little bit on the shakier side, but he was fine. Um, Now moving on to Tierney, I thought Tierney had a really good game. I think defensively he was really solid. I think offensively he tried to get forward and help us when we could get into the attacking areas. And Tierney was just great. Like I thought this was there's been times where we played against big teams that I thought that Tierney kind of left a lot to be desired. He didn't get out to the crosses. He, got easily bypassed, but I think he was good today. And so for me, Tierney gets an 8, just like Chambers, just like Holding. All of them are really solid, really good. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to give Tierney an 8.5. I think he was just slightly better because going forward, he had more quality than the other two did, obviously. But Tierney was great. And you just see why he's our number one left back. He's reliable. He may not be fancy. He may not be, um, all action going forward, but like he gives you something in defense and he has that work ethic and that little bit of like, I'm just gonna pull my socks up and get the job done. And I really like that about him. And Tierney, get 8.5 for me. I thought he was great. Dublin says there was a moment after the red card where Tierney shut down Trent and it got the away fans going. Yeah, Tierney is one of those that he feeds off of the crowd noise as well. And yeah, Tierney was good. Winchester Crew Podcast says Thierry 9. I don't know if you're saying Tierney 9 or Thierry Henry. Either way, it's fine. Canon Kane says Gabriel was a little rash today. Yeah, I think he was. I think he was a little bit rash, and I think he might have had that red card on his mind, maybe. I'm not sure, but he was a little rash. But first game back after the red card, hasn't played in like a week. So hopefully he just knocks those cobwebs off and just moves on. Dave says, we were stuffed a few months ago 4-0 at Anfield, and now with 10 men, we get a 0-0. Proud of these lads. Exactly. I agree. So let's move on to Le Midfield, or what, was there a midfield there? I don't know. Oh gosh, I hate to say this, but Sambi was not good again today. I think I don't know what's going on with Sambi, but it's weird because it's like he was bad against Liverpool the first time around, but then he played against Newcastle and was like a man of the match performance. And then obviously he was dropped once. He was dropped for Man United, I believe, because we played against Man United and it was El Neni and Thomas. Yeah. And then we played against Everton, and then it was Xhaka and Thomas. And then from here on out, it's kind of been Xhaka and Thomas, and Sambi hasn't really gotten any playing time. But Xhaka was good. Not Xhaka. Sambi was good. Sambi, he didn't deserve to be dropped. But now that I'm watching him, I'm like, what's happened? What's actually happened to him? So maybe it's just a little bit of being like a young midfielder and try to find your feet. It's difficult in games where, the space is compressed and they're pressing you, and you're clearly a pressing trigger as well. And I think he has a lot of talent, and he's a really good player. And I hear what you're saying, Hakoon, because it was Newcastle, but he also didn't play well against Nottingham Forest, and we know that it's not just about the opposition. He looks like he's suffering a little bit of a confidence thing, because even when he played against Chelsea the first time around, he was good. So yeah, I don't think, for me, Sambi was not great. I think that he had some moments where he just was dispossessed because he couldn't make the decision quick enough. And so I'm going to give Sambi a 6. Was definitely there defensively doing his thing, but yeah, I think he's just suffering a little bit from being young and inexperienced. Io says youth and inconsistency. Winchester says Sambi was poor in the first half and okay the second. Sambi just needs experience. And yeah, I mean, he hasn't really played a lot as well. So I thought Sambi was bad, but then also when you see somebody do a couple of things and you're like, oh, why didn't he just let go of the ball? Like sometimes, like if I rewatch the game, I may feel differently, but right now I'm just feeling like Sambi stood out to me as somebody that did not have as good of a game as other people, but that's just me. So yeah, Xhaka. There's really not much to say about Xhaka. Ruined it. Is just a constant issue all the time. And so where do you really go with this beyond just giving him a 2, because he really didn't do anything before the game, before that red card. It was so early and it was just so stupid. There's no way to, I saw why was he, isolated against Jota? I don't give a shit. When you're a midfielder and you're our experienced midfielder and you get into those positions to, because we had just attacked. That was the thing. It's and anytime that you attack Liverpool, you are immediately under threat if they gain possession after an attack from you, because all they do is they want to kick it into the channels to their fast players. So the idea that we were never going to be exposed is stupid. And when we do get exposed and you're back there and you're there to try to keep us from getting scored on, you need to make the right decision. It's not about us not getting exposed. Why were we exposed? We were exposed because we were attacking. If we never attack, then they never have to be honest. So he needs to make the right decisions. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt against Bernardo Silva, because I was like, well, why was he, maybe we fell asleep. I did think we fell asleep a little bit. But if you're going to be the person covering for when we fall asleep, then when you get in those situations, it's not okay to go brain dead. You have to make the right decision. And he never freaking makes it. Kicking Jota in the stomach was stupid. And there's no way around it. It was so early in the game. And it was just, it's embarrassing at this point. It's been embarrassing. But the fact that we actually need him to come back because we don't have anybody else just speaks to how poorly we've gotten this so wrong. And we need more midfielders. We need better midfielders, and Xhaka needs to clock out. He needs to clock out. It's time to move on. Not even as I don't even think if you brought in a better midfielder, I don't even think you could use him at all. I just think you need to sell and move on. And yeah, he's really, for me, the last piece of the trauma puzzle for me. The amount of trauma that I felt. I know, you guys, I know he's not going until the summer, if he does go at all, but what I'm saying is that he does have to go, and it needs to be something that the club just gets their mind around. There is no keeping Xhaka for another year, because the amount of trauma that I personally felt, and I feel like this fan base has felt from David Luiz, Mustafi, Kolasinac, that group, Xhaka as well. It just has to end at some point, and I'm done with it. Xhaka for me gets a 0. He didn't do enough to say like, well, he was having a good game before that. It was so freaking early. He hadn't really touched the ball, and the guy is brain dead. And like, like what is this? Like, it's deja vu. And like, as soon as like his leg went up, I knew he was getting a red card. So I'm just, and then now it's like you're suspended for the next 3 games. So the North London Derby, Burnley, and the second leg of this tie. And you can say that, okay, well, he probably would have gotten a red card then anyway. But we need him. Like, we need him so that we can, because we don't have Thomas Partey. If you had Thomas Partey, you could play him and Sambi and just ride off into the sunset. We don't have anybody. They've recalled Aziz. Like, it's insane how like reliant we are on this guy, but how unreliable he is for us, especially in big moments as a senior member of the squad at 29 years old, a Swiss captain, pretty much our pseudo captain, and you cannot rely upon him in big games. But we are so reliant on this one-footed asshole. Like, I am so done. Like, I cannot get over it. A 0. It's just a 0. I'm tired. Like, he's just pissed me off, like, in every way. Rancid Pumpkin says 0. Xhaka let the whole team down. Exactly. DMC, a repeat offender. Winchester Crew Podcast says -10. He knows better. Morris Brown says, been sick of Xhaka. I think a lot of people are. Johnson says, Xhaka should not have done that. He has always been a killer of the club. Allison says, Xhaka 0 for me all day long. I mean, I'm just tired. Like, and we're all like tired. Like, I think that's what it is. It's just fatigue, knowing that when his leg goes up, when he starts running towards a player, when he starts to slide, when he sticks a leg out, that it's going to be the harshest possible punishment that you can get. And you can say it's reputation, but we cannot carry his reputation any longer. I even look at somebody like Lacazette, who I think played really well today, but I also noticed that he never gets fouls. And the reason why he doesn't get fouls is because basically English refs have decided that anytime he goes down, he's flopping. So we never get the benefit. We never get the benefit because his reputation says that he's a flopper. But you can carry that because Lacazette is not giving away penalties and red cards. Xhaka, his reputation is so costly. And at this point, it's just like, F it. You know, just get rid. Like, I'm just done. Like, ugh. Okay. So yeah. And this is like, okay, like me getting this off my chest. I've already said that like the boys have played well. We got away with a draw and all of that, but we still need him for the North London Derby and stuff. So even though we can always look at silver linings and stuff and always look at the positive part, like you could look at what Xhaka has done in the last 2 weeks, and he could potentially cost us top 4 by giving away the penalty against Man City, by, you know, giving away the red card today, which will keep him out of the North London Derby. Like, these are costly mistakes. So even though there are silver linings, and I hear that, and that's why people are getting high scores, and we haven't even gotten to Saka and Martinelli and Lacazette, that man is a criminal. And so I'm getting it off my chest, like, you know, and I don't feel any type of way about it. Fight me. Okay. DMC says the harshest possible punishment in the Premier League trophy goes to Xhaka. Blaze says just why Xhaka won't apologize for the red card like Pepe did. I don't think he'll apologize because he believes in his mind, and what he said in that interview that he did for The Athletic is that he feels like there is an agenda against him, and the referees call like unnecessary stuff on him, you know? So in his mind, he's being treated unfairly. That's why he's not going to apologize. It's ridiculous. So I'm done, like, with Xhaka, you know, it's over. So yeah, we'll see what happens, because maybe this will expedite us getting a central midfielder in. I still think it's Thursday now. We would have to register a new midfielder at noon tomorrow. So I don't think it's likely that there will be another midfielder in before the North London derby. So our best possible bet, honestly, oh, did he apologize? Good. You guys send that to me. I want to see it. I want to read it because he didn't apologize for the last one. He did apologize. Good. But it doesn't even matter. It's like you already did your damage, like whatever. But yeah, it's unlikely that we'll bring in another midfielder. So our best possible bet is that the game is postponed. You know, I want to play the North London Derby with our best possible team because it's such an important game. So yeah, game. I mean, we have 12 available players. Like that should be enough, like to get the game postponed. But that would be what I would be doing right now. I'd be on the phone with whoever I need to be on the phone with and be like, we need this game postponed. We played the game with Liverpool, whatever. I need that thing postponed. So yeah, I think that's enough on Xhaka. So I don't care if they apologize or not. Like I really, really don't, because those apologies and like when they go on Instagram and say things like oh, it wasn't good enough and stuff. I don't care. Show it on the pitch. And so Xhaka can apologize all he wants, but he's been doing this since day one. So, and he's never going to change, you know, so it is what it is. I don't need him to apologize online. I just didn't think he would. Seeing that he has done it, okay, he's done it, but like, you've already done the damage. So what the hell? All right. So let's get to the players that I personally feel like really deserve. I mean, the thing is, the defenders did such a good job, and like they were so compact and so committed. But then you also have to give a lot of credit to Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, and Alexander Lacazette. And I'll start off with Martinelli. I think although he didn't have a game full of shots and a game full of like really good runs and all of that kind of stuff, his work rate was unmatched, and that's what you really need. I think it's just so different going down a man and not seeing people just completely drop their heads and say forget it. And we needed that. Like we really, really needed that. So it's I'm Martinelli, I thought, was really trying hard. And that's what you just need that. And that's what you get for having like young, hungry players. And so for me, Martinelli gets I'm going to give him a 7, just mostly because like the work rate was really good. Obviously, he didn't have any like shots or anything like that, so really can't give him like too much. But like a 7 because that work rate was on point. Like, and now at this point, like I think we're due a couple goals from Martinelli at this point, and I think we'll get them in due time. So yeah, Lacazette, he had a couple of moments where I thought like you could just let the ball go and pass it, but his work rate, and he was doing a lot of like, it wasn't just work rate because he was neat and tidy with the ball and trying to release Saka and Martinelli, and sometimes it didn't come off, which is fine. Shit happens, and it was a really difficult situation, but I thought he worked so hard, and he was a big reason why we even got up the pitch sometimes. There was one time where he got the ball and he started dribbling forward, and he just kept dribbling on the left-hand side, and I was just like, wow, like this guy is so slow, but he's trying, and that is more than you can say. Than like, just imagine, I don't really want to throw shots here, but I just remember times where we went down to 10 men before and we had other strikers up top, and it just felt like you were down an additional man, and you didn't feel like that with Lacazette. So I'm going to give Laka an 8. I think he was really frustrated. And I wouldn't be surprised if he slapped Xhaka across the face because he looked very, very frustrated. But he worked hard and he didn't give up, and that's what you expect from your senior players, 100%. And Bukayo Saka was brilliant today, absolutely brilliant. He was hard to handle. He worked really hard. He took the team on his back. He tried to make things happen. He showed the level of frustration that I want to see from a player where he's basically like, come on, like there's no reason to like not continue to play hard. And when you have young players like that, like Saka and Martinelli, and then you have Ben White and Gabriel and Ramsdale and Tierney, and you just look at this team, you're just thinking like we are we have good times ahead. This is still in the middle of a process of us getting rid of some of the dead wood, the real dead wood in this team. And so it's going to take time. But when you look at those players, especially Bukayo Saka, and you see how he played up against Virgil van Dijk and Robertson and these guys, and he really, I mean, they were just triple teaming him, trying to keep him from making something happen. And he had one opportunity that I thought he probably could have done a better job with. But other than that, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And you got to get him on a new contract because that guy, he's probably worth about 100 million for sure. He's one of the best young players in Europe, and he plays for Arsenal Football Club. And, don't let anybody tell you anything different. I'm going to give Bukayo Saka an 8.5. I thought he had one opportunity that I could probably do better with. And I don't think he was quite as good as Ben White. But I think that performance, with the Manchester City performance, just shows where we're going with a 20-year-old. He's 20, he's 20, so there you go. He was the best offensive player on the pitch. And hopefully he's okay for the North London Derby. And I think he will be, but hopefully he's good for the North London Derby. Nuno, when he came on, I thought he looked tame, but I think also because he was really concentrating and trying to do whatever Arteta had asked him to do. And I was very happy to see him play because of the situation that happened against Nottingham Forest. Just kind of want to nip it in the bud. You don't have to send him to the naughty corner or banish him away from the team. He came in and he did his job, and he looked like he was really trying to concentrate on like not making a mistake and staying where he needed to be. And I like that, so I think Nuno was just fine. Give him a 6. I think that was it. Oh, and Eddie Nketiah, very unlucky to get pulled off. I thought his pass to Saka in the first half that led to that attack that we had was really, really good. He was really unlucky to get taken off. And so I'll just give him a 6, but unlucky to get taken off. Had some good touches, but like we really hadn't started to cook yet. And it would have been interesting to see how we would have played if we had 11 men, but Xhaka stole that from us, and that's annoying. Barry says, when you think of all the defensive work Saka did, I can't fault him with the half chance. No, that's a very good point, that he worked so hard that he just may have not had much, in the tank, to get that chance over the line. Nashville says Saka is praying we signed Vlahovic so our wage structure for young guys changes dramatically. I hear that. Mohammed says, so happy for Chambers and Holding today. They really stepped up. They did. 100%. S said Eddie was working hard. He was. Barry says Eddie started brightly. Pity he got hooked. I think it's very unfortunate that he got hooked, but like that is just like the name of the game. Like it's the name of the game. S says, yeah, definitely Saka looked very leggy before he came off. Yeah, he did. So, but he played his ass off, and that's all you can really ask for. Have some super chats here. The Truth Sets Free says, just supporting my favorite channel. Big up, everyone. Thank you so much for your really kind super chat. I really appreciate it. Also, The Truth Sets Free says, having issues with YouTube. Hope you got my last bigger super chat. I did. So, yeah, you sent 2. I don't know if you want to go back in YouTube and get rid of this one, but I did receive the big one. Thank you so much. And The Truth Says Free just sent this one as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your support and all of that. And like, yeah, you guys are a good therapy session, like literally, because like I needed to yell and you guys allowed me to do that. So like, thanks. Sue Wilder says, really interested to hear Arteta on Xhaka this time in the conference. Is the conference out yet? I'm not sure. Probably come out soon enough, but yeah. uh, I want to hear how he defends his boy because we know that that's his boy, but like he is costing us. And Arteta, like, he's costing you. All your hard work is going down the drain because this man is brain dead. Um, Badu says, "Do I think Xhaka's tackle saved us a goal? Possibly, possibly. But we tend to have players that would rather like get a red card or a penalty than just try to defend naturally. We always just take out the player, do something rash, take ourselves out of the game, take the easy way out. So he could have saved us a goal, but I also think there was a way to defend that without giving up a penalty or a red card, you know? And maybe Jota does score and it is what it is, but like he's cost us, you know, because now he doesn't play in the North London Derby. And who knows if we cannot get that game postponed, how that's going to affect us because, you know, yeah, we need to win it. We need to win it. Hakum says, "Who did I pick for my player of the match?" Um, it's really close between Ben White and Bukayo Saka, but I think I have to give it to Ben White because, yeah, the defensive performance today was absolutely spectacular today from the boys, and Ben White was a big part of it. So I think I have to give it to Ben White. Nashville exactly saved a goal, might have cost us 6 points. I mean, the guy is just nah. Um, let's see. DMC Harper says, "Great show, Jessica. After Forest, we are happy again." Yeah, I mean, we can see where we're going with this team, and it's definitely a work in progress, and we're nowhere near where we can be. And hopefully they can get a signing or two over the line in the next couple of days, and we can just move on from this. Thomas Partey comes back, Odegaard comes back, ESR and Tamayasu comes back, and we get a result against the North London in the North London Derby in the next couple of days and just move on. Like, you know, because there's still a lot to play for in the season. And but the boys are showing like a resilience that we haven't seen in years, you know, from our teams, you know. So good times ahead, hopefully without Granit Xhaka. Winchester says, "Wonder if Xhaka will be going to Roma in the summer. Reports are suggesting that Jose Mourinho still wants him. And quite frankly, that is where he needs to be. He would be excellent in Italy because he'd have that extra time on the ball. He'd be able to look around and deep line play make or whatever. And maybe the Italian refs won't look at him as this guy that's rash and silly, you know. So I think that that is the perfect move for him and us. So yeah. Um, and my view on Spurs, we'll talk about that more tomorrow possibly, but my idea is just basically like you have to play out of your skin just like you did today. And we've seen today that even when the cards are not in your favor and you're not, you know, in a advantageous like position, that you can still get something out of the game if you work as a team and you play hard. And so we'll have something similar to what happened? What happened? What happened? Um, but if you play like a team and you give it your all, you can do something. And this was against Liverpool and not against Spurs. So it's going to be different, but we'll have something similar against Spurs probably. You know, we probably won't have our best 11. I'm hoping that Tamayasu is back and ESR is back. We have at least a 10, you know, so you know, hopefully we'll have a better team available. And the midfield may be weaker, but Aziz maybe will play. I don't know. You know, so we'll see what happens. But you guys, we're going to go ahead and leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me on Player Ratings. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow to chat more about this. Thank you so much for allowing me to kind of just like have my moment. And it felt really good. I feel a lot better. I can move on with my day. Yeah. So I don't know how to end these. Like I feel like I need like an ending video or something because it's so awkward. But like, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Yeah, see you guys in the next one.